we recorded an entire 40-minute episode and
Didn't hit record.
Sheridan didn't record.
I'm usually the behind the scenes. You want me in this episode.
Sheridan did not hit the record button. So now it's just video of us talking with no audio. I cried in this episode.
No, you didn't.
You guys are going to miss out on that.
We're saving the topic for another week with strangers.
Probably never
so I
see
feel like it's
me
better
crying
with
ever
strangers.
again on this podcast. Never. Welcome to Podcast with Strangers, episode number
3.
Cue the intro. Ding 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 ding.
Is that what the sound is?
Yes. Wow.
It didn't. No, I'd say like you didn't sound like it.
Wow. Anyways, hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Podcast with Strangers, episode number 3.
Okay, sorry.
Hey guys, I'm still going to leave that part in. Welcome
Don't
back
leave that
to
in.
another episode of Podcast with Strangers, episode number 3. We recorded like this 30-minute episode, but we forgot to click record on our audio, so now it's just us doing this.
Yeah, basically.
So here we're recording another one. This is a really quick one. It's been a really busy week for both of us. First, we both got sick, the common cold, and then we both had a reading week. We are both still in midterms. I still have a midterm that's due today or Thursday that I haven't started yet. What day is it today?
Wednesday.
Oh, Lord. So I have to go home and start that midterm that's due tomorrow. You had a production on Monday that you had to film and do, and then we
have to go home and edit.
Assignment on Monday. That's due Monday too, right? Oh, it's just a busy time, guys.
I'm sure everyone else can get that.
Yeah,
too.
and that's why honestly, when we were applying for this podcast, we said monthly episodes because originally this podcast was just supposed to go on Spirit Live, and that's it. Spirit Live is Ryerson's like radio
broadcasting station,
right? And when we created this podcast originally, it was just to go on Spirit Live, and it was just so we can get our creative practice hours, which is something that you need in Ryerson.
RTA.
In RTA in order to graduate. And then we branched out and made this thing that was supposed to be once a month consumed 6 hours of our time. And we turned it into a weekly thing. We got way more invested in it, and I'm happy we did. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it takes up a large chunk of our time. If I were to, from start to finish, both me and you together, at least more than 24 hours worth of work is put into this.
100%. Because of planning, the
prep, the location, the sponsors, the actual recording, the editing, getting it out on all the platforms. It's really, really time consuming. So it's going to be a little shorter episode today. We're going to be talking about social media. And we are going to have amazing episodes coming out next week. With strangers. This is Stranger-ish.
Part of a little series we have within the series.
We're going to have episodes where we talk to people that are strangers to you, but not to us. And we think would be good to have on the show because they had have some very insightful things to talk about and to share with you guys. Yeah. But on the topic of social media, I was literally yesterday writing down things I need to work on. And one of the things that I wrote down is get off my phone because I'm on it so much.
Yeah.
And it's constant just scrolling. And like everything, I'm so
And you
addicted.
don't even want to be on it.
Sometimes I'm doing it like, I don't want to do this, but I keep on scrolling. Because Bella Porch is doing a new dance on TikTok. Or Charlie D'Amelio is crying about something on her new
I think for
show.
Me, it's been like my thing. I've had a really bad relationship with TikTok. I've deleted it and re-downloaded it a million times.
I deleted it.
The only reason I still have it now is for Podcast with Strangers. Then I use it for everything else.
That's why I downloaded it. I was like, oh, Podcast with Strangers. But then I was like, Sheridan's managing it. I don't need to be on this. So I deleted it yesterday.
Yeah, but I think I like recently had a realization with it that like I'm happier when I'm not on it. Like I used to have like a private story on Snapchat too.
Yeah, I deleted mine.
And like deleted my private story.
Deleted it. Yeah.
I just think what I learned from it is that like it's a whole thing of like, okay, so when it comes to social media in the sense of like Snapchat and stuff, like when you're interacting with people, you put a lot of yourself out there. Excuse me. You put a lot of yourself out there for other people thinking that like they care, but they don't. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm like, no one really cares.
Listen, if you post
what's going on.
If you post 3 stories in a row and you were to go look at the viewership, it just declines.
Yeah.
It goes from 200 to 180 to 160. So I deleted my private story, and just my 5 really close friends who I love sharing my life with, I created one for them, and that's all. I don't post on my main story anymore. And I don't invest time into thinking about what people are going to think when I post something. 'Cause at the end of the day, when someone looks at your Instagram story, they look at it, they swipe, and they never think about you ever again.
They don't care.
But some people let it consume them so much to the point where they're planning out their stories and posts meticulously and planning out what color the background should be, what time to post.
Okay.
Like,
well, this is where I like think about it in a different way, because I think about it in a sense, if you're using social media in a creative platform, like if your Instagram, like your feed or whatever is as a creative outlet for you, like your photos or like, I get like that type of stuff. Personally, I can't handle keeping an aesthetic or whatever, like on Instagram and anything. And I think the people who do it for like appearance of other people, it can be harmful to you. But I think if you use it as a creative outlet and you genuinely enjoy doing it, go right ahead. Do you know what I mean?
If you're spending your time worrying about what other people are thinking when posting these things, I think you have a very negative relationship with social media.
100%.
If you are posting it out of pure joy for yourself and you're not worried about what people are going to say or
how many
comments, how many comments, how many likes, how many people are sharing it, and you're just posting just for the pure joy of just, I want to post this, I like doing this, that's a good relationship. But there are genuinely some people out there that are so worried about the numbers and about what people are going to think when they post this thing or this picture, when without realizing that 90% of the time no one is really thinking about that post after you post it, unless it's something very controversial, like I'm pregnant. I don't know.
I think also in high school I was a person that like really saw, and I think a lot of people deal with this, where it's like, if you don't comment on this person's photo, are you still friends anymore? Like, I think that was a big issue. Like, it's like, but you're all commenting the same thing. You're all commenting hard eyes.
Or like,
you're all commenting you're so pretty.
5 times on the same post.
I was never that person. I think I was like in grade 9.
Dude.
But it's like, this person only commented once.
Or when they ask you to go comment and like. Remember when we used to do that?
Yeah.
New post.
Go like up the new post. But like, I get that if you're using it for like a marketing sense.
Yes.
And like, again, like if you're into the creative side of like using Instagram to promote your own creativity, okay.
You know what's a great example of that? When we post something on Podcast with Strangers.
You should like our recent reel podcast with strangers.
Like it.
Oh no, the battery's gonna die on this one.
Already? Oh, that was fast. Like it, comment, share it, repost it, share it again. Okay, we're back. Sorry, our battery ran out. Yeah, we were saying, except if it's for marketing, it's good. But some people let it consume every aspect of their life to the point where after they post, their anxiety skyrockets and they end up taking it down and reposting it. And it's like, it doesn't even become a fun experience at that point. It just becomes this negative aspect of your life that is based around pleasing other people, kind of.
Yeah. I think there's also something to be said about like capturing things in the moment through your phone rather than living in it. I think I mean, maybe we're biased because like I personally like taking photos and stuff, but like, and taking videos, but I think in high school I really was like, I looked through my Snapchat memories and I'm like, oh, what, this is of us laughing. This is one of like 25 photos of me laughing with my friend at the time. And like,
I did a vlog series in high school.
Okay, but I feel like that's different. That's a creative thing. Whereas like just recording like, oh my God,
I'm glad I can go back.
I'm walking down the halls.
Yeah.
Like,
here's the thing with the vlogs that I did in high school. I had fun doing them.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like feel down when I didn't get an episode out, or I wasn't like, oh shoot, I have to do a pod. There was times where I would film every day and not post for an entire month because I wasn't like, I need to post. I need to make sure I post content out there and my viewers like me.
Yeah, it was about creating the content for yourself.
I just want to look back on this, which is healthy. That I think I had a healthy relationship at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I have an unhealthy relationship with social media, not because I let it consume my mental health, but it consumes my time.
I think I've had a mix. I think now it's a time thing for me, but I think especially during COVID, but like even throughout high school, and still now, like I compare myself to people easily.
Yeah.
And I think especially like I know for me, like that was the thing with TikTok of like these people getting blown up for being pretty. And like good for them, like they're making the most of the career that they have, but it's like really puts you in like a thing of like,
Yeah.
why is Addison Rae getting a movie signed release like deal for being pretty? And maybe that's just because I have a background in acting, so obviously I have a lot of respect for actors and
No, I
like
see what you
people who
mean.
do years of training to just
You
get
start to
any movie.
compare yourself. Yep.
Do you know what I mean?
It's normal though to be comparing yourself to
100%. And
But-
then it turns you kind of like negative. Like,
Yeah.
like you mean like you have negative opinions of these people. And I think the whole idea of an influencer, I think, okay, what's your opinion on the role of an influencer? Do you see any benefit towards it? I think, okay, I'll go first. I think there's a potential for benefit in it, but I
Yes.
think there's a lot of influencers out there that are influencing, but not in the way that the best way they can be. Do you know what I mean? Like I feel like
there are some people
they're
out
setting
there.
an unrealistic standard, negative things without knowing
do
that
you know
they
who
are.
comes to mind?
Oh God.
Do you know Sienna on TikTok? Sienna.
The girl who had the issue with that guy, the assault issue.
Yeah, minus that issue.
Okay.
Her whole thing is body positivity, right?
She
And
has like an average, like not average, but like
listen,
she's like,
maybe she has issues with her body image.
of course, and I think that's separate.
But to the naked eye, she's a very good-looking female
That's what I mean. Yeah.
who only looks fat when she wears a bikini and pushes her stomach in unnaturally to
Yeah.
make herself look fat. And if you were to go onto the comments of these posts, what you would see is people saying, you aren't fat if you have to make yourself look fat.
Yeah.
Like she's sitting there going like this to make herself look fat.
Mm-hmm.
She's a beautiful person. So it's hard to be an influencer about body image towards body image when you aren't.
When you already kind of are the social standard for a lot of people.
Yeah, it's like like
I
Lizzo
yeah.
is
I
great
love her.
with body image because
Yeah.
she she isn't like the average supermodel actress hip hop star that you see out there on the internet. So when she's being successful and influencing others about body image, it's like, okay, finally someone that actually
Of a community that actually
Yes.
like is representing. Yep.
It's like if a straight guy was the advocate for LGBTQ rights.
Yeah. Makes no sense.
It's like if it was a Caucasian person being the spokesperson for Black Lives Matter movement.
Yeah.
It's like if a skinny person was being the advocate for fat shaming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Against fat shaming.
against yeah. My thing about influencers is, listen, if you're gonna influence, please influence. I don't let the
Well,
money
that's the
consume
thing.
you.
They're still influencing, but is it the way that they should be?
No, I feel
Do you
like
know
they
what I
go
mean?
get into influencing for the right reasons, and then money gets involved, and it takes a whole big turn, and it becomes more money moves and
I think it
business
also
moves.
comes to the issue of like they want to keep a certain title and image of themselves for other people that they create this negative atmosphere. You know what I mean? Like I think of like influencers on like even like moderate influencers on like TikTok or Instagram that are posting health and fitness, but it's like not actually that good for you. You know what I mean? They're just
Yeah.
trying to achieve this that girl lifestyle that
Mm-hmm.
is not actually better for their audience. Do you know what I mean? And maybe it works for them, but like I don't know. That's why I
I
think
feel like
it's
they
a
have
tricky
good
conversation.
intentions.
Uh-huh.
They have good intentions,
100%.
but then it just they kind of fall
I
off.
think some can have good intentions.
Yeah, and then they
Some
just fall
do
off.
it for the, I think I said, like, I think for appearance of it,
Yep.
which I think is every human insecurity. You want to appear put together and, like, you know what you're talking about. And I think, I'm not, like, I think they know what they're talking about to a point. Like, a lot of people who are in health and fitness, like, some people, like, actually have training or, like, degree or, like, you know what I mean? But I think a
You know
lot of times,
You know what's funny?
what?
Seeing on TikTok health influencers, like one person posting another thing, and then another health influencer like duets that video, and it's like he's wrong,
Yeah.
and then another person, no, he's wrong. It's like I don't know who the anymore.
Yeah.
Do I starve myself or do I drink water?
Yeah. Exactly. And it's
No, don't starve yourself.
Toxic. Eat.
Yep.
Please eat.
Eat. That's a whole different thing. But yeah.
That's a whole other.
Did you delete TikTok?
No, I haven't. I told you for Podcasts with Strangers.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say because then I have
I
to
try
download
not to use it
If
as
no,
much.
if you want me to download TikTok again
No, it's okay. You
to
can.
post, like I can. Do you want me to?
Sure. Do you want to take over so I can delete the app?
I just think it's good if I was on it, right? So I can re-download the app just for business. Not because I want to. Not because I
Sure.
care.
Sure.
Like,
It's not matter to me.
It's just a business move.
I think for me, I've noticed is that like I spend a lot of time on it just swiping when I like even like at night. Like I want to be asleep right now and I'm still swiping.
2 a.m.
Yeah. Whereas like I've noticed like I personally love reading for pleasure and like I've done that like around my life.
What happened to Harry Potter?
I was reading on the bus today, but like
Really?
yeah,
What book?
I'm on the 4th one. Goblet of Fire.
That's my favorite. Oh,
It's good.
I'm gonna watch when I get home today.
Anyway, Harry Potter. So far, I'm reading the series. I never read it as a kid or watched the movies.
Don't spoil it for her. and
Don't spoil it for
comments.
me. But yeah, I think
Ron
like
dies.
reading for
I'm joking. Ron doesn't die.
stop. You just need to stop.
He doesn't
talking.
die.
You need to
Or
stop
does
talking.
he?
Reading for pleasure is like something for me that I enjoy doing, and I feel like I lost track of that a lot because of social media usage of like TikTok and stuff. You mean like I'm like I try and think about it like so when I change my habits over to reminding myself to do things that I enjoy doing instead of just on my phone. I think of it like those like I'm like sometimes I'm like, oh, I said I wanted to read today, but like that's a healthy habit, but that will take like 20 minutes of my time. I'm like I'm gonna spend those 20 minutes on TikTok anyway, so why
Yeah.
not swap them out? Do you know what I mean? Like I feel like that's a way
Yeah.
people can kind of switch their habits around.
I feel
And,
like with
like-
anything.
Oh, 100%.
Me, homework. I'll go on TikTok instead for a bit.
Yeah.
During my breaks for school, I could sit there and do a little bit of homework. I'll go on TikTok or something else.
Yeah.
It's funny is I delete
But I
TikTok
do
and then I go on Instagram and then there's Instagram Reels
Yeah.
and then there's Snapchat and
That's the thing. That's like everywhere. But I think also like finding the balance though. Don't overload yourself with work because if you like try and figure out your life habits and like make it all healthy every minute of your day, like a good healthiness. For me personally, like I break down. Like I'm like I'll keep it up for like a week or two, and then after
Yeah.
I'll be like I miss doing things for fun. You know?
Speaking of books, it's so funny. I bought a book the other day. Guess what the topic is? What the title was? The title was Talking to Strangers.
Really?
So I was like, this is a good book.
What is it about?
What do you think it's about?
Like, is it someone that talks to strangers? Is it interviews written out?
No, it's about Fidel Castro and Adolf Hitler.
Oh,
I didn't read the back of the book. I just I judged the book by its cover
that's the
and
last thing you do.
spent $30 on the book. And I started reading it to my friend yesterday. I was just like, let's read this book together. It's called Talking to Strangers. And it's like in 1854. This I was like, oh my god.
Was like the
this is-
sleeve on for another book? Like, was it wrong?
No, it literally is just called Talking with Strangers. Who would name a book? I don't know. Anyways, I'm guessing he has a lot of sales in that book. Anyways, I really gotta.
Oh my god, a frame.
I need to crack down on social media stuff. Seriously, I'm on it way too much.
I think I am too. Actually, I've like limited myself. I think I still get guilty of like. Did you ever look at who views your story? Exactly. I know you have. I know you have. I know everyone
Can I
has.
tell you something else?
What?
Sometimes I post just so a certain person can look at my story.
Okay, and I think that's not
hate
fun
myself.
and it's terrible to say, but everyone does that.
Dude, it's so
100%. And I think it makes us sound like
so-
very shallow people,
Sometimes
but I
go
do
and
too.
find stuff to post so I can see if someone saw it. Oh Lord Jesus Christ.
I did that a lot in high school. Now I kind of just don't care.
Oh,
Because there's like I have different friend pool and like, you know.
I did it yesterday. I should go check
Um,
if that person saw it.
I think for me I get guilty looking at like someone who was really big in my life who's not as much now. I'm like curious if they're still watching my stories, like keeping track of me in the sense. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, I think when you lose someone in your life, like I haven't fully lost this person in my life, but like we're not as close. Like we were super close before the pandemic.
Boy.
Yeah. What? How does that like have anything to do with this?
Nothing.
I'm in a relationship. It wasn't a boy in that sense. It was just someone that was my friend, and we were really close before the pandemic. But then since the pandemic, we kind of haven't been. Like I don't know. Like we've been still kind of close,
But
but
you didn't
not
like
the
this
same.
on the podcast? I can cut this part out.
Huh? Yeah, it's not about romantically at
Oh,
all.
okay.
It's just a friendship.
Okay.
You just asked the gender, and yes, it is a male. But
I'm just looking out for Ethan, who's Sheridan's boyfriend that I
he's
love.
he's great. I think he'll be okay
If you
with
ever
it.
heard him, I've never met him before. If I swear to God, if you heard him,
Have you met him?
no. Never.
Anyway, long story short, my point of the story was I would post on social media a lot during COVID to kind of show people what I'm doing with my life, obviously the way everyone does. But then I would look after to see if that person that I haven't been as close with has looked
That's
at
a
it.
negative relationship with social media right there.
Exactly. And I think that's common. Like you said, you find post to post for someone else to relate to or see. And I think that's really common, and it's not healthy, but I think it's important to recognize that you're not the only one that does that.
I just want to see if she saw it.
Right? It's just curiosity. You think it's harmless, but then you look at yourself and you're like, why am I spending my
We
time?
didn't talk to a guest about this last week.
Why are you spending
Yeah.
your time putting a lot more energy into something else, someone, then they're not giving it back?
Because I miss her.
Right. But that doesn't mean that it's necessarily best. And I still miss that person that I was really we were really close friends. We hung out a
Call him
lot.
up.
I'm not doing that.
Why not?
No.
What happened?
I won't get an answer.
Oh shit! What
No, I
happened?
just
What did you do?
I still don't know. There's nothing that's gone wrong.
He didn't tell you?
No, nothing has gone. It's not bad. We're still friends, but it's just you don't talk as much. And that's what's still to this day. I'm I don't know why we don't talk as much.
Text him, be like, hey, what's up?
I did. There was no answer. I'm a big person though. I like to check in on people, and I don't get that reciprocated a lot.
Yeah, let's talk about that really quickly. I know it's not about social media, but do you find yourself checking in on people more than they're checking in on you? And isn't it kind of sad?
Yes.
I was sitting there the other
Well,
day.
that's what someone said in a response to one of our polls of what do you want to hear talk about? They're putting more into relationship than the other person. And I think romantically or friendship or anything, that's important because I'm realizing, why are you putting in a lot more energy? You don't deserve to be giving everything to someone when they're not giving you anything back, romantically or friendship wise. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of people believe they just have you in their back pocket when they need you and when it's convenient for them, but then when they actually have to do the work. I just think in any relationship, if you're giving a lot more than the other person, and you can
friendship or really
or romantically,
any type of relationship.
I think if you're giving a lot more to it, and you'll realize it. I think you'll know it unconsciously, because I did know it before, but I didn't want to believe it because you were so close at one point. And that's the thing. I'm were we actually that close, or did I just think we were that close?
Were you actually that close, or were you just putting in more efforts than the other person was? Dude, I find myself talking or checking in on people more than they're checking up on me. And just past few weeks, I've just been reflecting so much. And I was just sitting there thinking, even yesterday, I'm just why am I the one that's always checking up on people? Why isn't it the other way around?
Well, that's the thing. And I think I noticed it even with podcasts with strangers. You notice who kind of reaches out and supports you in certain things and who doesn't.
And surprisingly, though,
Yeah.
some people that I haven't talked to since elementary school have been supporting this thing. And I just sit there, I'm just I haven't talked to this person in 4 years.
There's people I'm not my closest friend, and they're supporting me. They're this podcast is amazing. I'm so proud of you. And I'm thank you so much. And they're connecting for it. They're connecting to it for themselves, not even just for us, because they're obviously not as close with us.
When I talk about checking up on friends, I'm talking about more of your closer friends.
Of course.
Sometimes I find someone that I find close to me, one of my closer friends, it's I'm always the one that's checking up on them, and I consider them a close friend, but they're never the ones checking up on me. And recently I've been cutting those people off because it's just I don't want to be the one that's always putting in effort. I have stuff to do too.
Exactly.
If I can take time out of my schedule to check up on you, you can take time out of your schedule to check up on me.
Exactly. I think it becomes an expectation for people. They just expect to have you there when it's convenient for them. I think about my friend that I'm not as close with that I was close with before. Were we that close, or was I just someone for them to hang out with in the time being before? Do you know what I mean? I think, was I just someone that to fill their time so they can go do this stuff, they had someone with them, rather than I saw it as we're hanging out a lot, we're obviously friends, but was it more of just a situation?
Okay, how about this? Whenever I'm a very busy person,
Mm-hmm.
and I have a lot of work to do,
Mm-hmm.
but I also want to spend time with my friends.
Mm.
Is it bad for me to invite my friends to hang out with me while I do an errand?
I think it's not to make you a bad person. I think that's important, but I think there's a difference between someone who just wants company because they don't feel like they have a lot of other people around them at this time, so they just hold on to people that they know will
I
be
think
for
it's
them.
different when.
Are you there for them?
Here's my thing. I ask my close friends if they want to join me when I'm running an errand. But I don't go out of my way to go ask any rando to hang. There are some people who literally ask whoever they can get a hold of to just be with them when they're doing something because they can't be alone for 2 seconds. For me, my best friend, his name is Vasi, and he lives in a different city, and I don't have time to always spend with him. So when he's in town, he helps me grocery shop, or he helps me run an errand for work, or he helps me do some yard work or something, and that's how we spend time together. I think that's okay. I just don't want them to feel like I'm using them.
No, and I don't think,
to-
as someone who's like just talking about like my experience with that other friend, I don't think that's the situation that like.
I'm not though.
No, you're not.
I would love to just hang out with them. I just don't have time right now.
Exactly.
Okay.
And I think there's a difference between that, like not having time, because I'm also not the biggest texter. Like I check in with my friends, the really ones that are really close to me, but I'm terrible at responding to my texts.
You're pretty
So
good.
I think, I mean, when it's podcast with strangers, then I'm like, oh, you know, like I'm on the ball for like projects.
Yesterday I kind of screamed at you because I just want to know what your size was. I'm sorry about that.
I answered right away.
Yeah, I know.
So you know that? But like I'm like very on and off about my phone, but I think when it's like I texted you to check up on you and it's been like a week, like then it's like, where do I hold value in your life? And I don't have to be your best friend, because if we were never that super close, but it does make you think. It's like, well, obviously I value this relationship a lot more than you did. And that's not fun. I think for anyone going through that, and I think that's connects to social media, because it's like everyone's at your fingertips, so it seems so easy to talk. So when someone doesn't connect to you right away, it's like makes you overthink and analyze. But I do think it's important to think of like the way you value relationship, and when you realize, wow, like maybe we weren't as close as I thought we were, it's not fun.
I have a question for you then, since
Yes.
you're not the best texter, okay?
Yes.
I had this friend in high school. I'm not going to say their gender, but they were always on their phone. Very evidently. You know that they were always on their phone. It's so obvious that they were always on their phone. But they were the worst texter in the entire... Never replies
See,
to messages.
I'm not like that.
How
and
is
that
that
makes me a
possible,
pet
though?
peeve. That gives me a pet peeve. I personally, I mean, maybe if you're someone like this, I'm not attacking you, but like, I don't appreciate the people that like have 78 or like 38 messages unread, just left in their phone, because I'm guilty of it too. Sometimes I'll read a message, I'm like, oh, I need to respond, and I don't, but I always make sure I get back to it. Like, I never open a message if I don't plan on responding to it later
But it's
that
not
day.
even that. Okay, but wait. If you're on your phone going on TikTok, right, and a message comes, would you reply to it, or would you just swipe it away?
I think if I like can't come up with a good answer, like if it's like a deep question, not deep, but like you need to have like a full answer, like you have to figure out something. Sometimes I'll swipe up and like, okay, I need to think about that, but I will stop TikTok. You know what I mean?
How long?
How long
Until
do I
you reply?
wait?
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll wait the day. Like someone texted me late last night, and I only responded the next morning because I was like,
You know what
I'm not gonna respond properly, and because it's the whole issue of like, oh, they like people overthink the way people text, right? Because you can't really tell people's emotions. So like, if I'm not gonna respond properly now, I'll wait till I can respond better.
Did you watch You?
I've only watched the first and half the second season.
Okay. Well, I started yesterday again from the start. I think it's not a spoiler. Maybe a spoiler. So don't skip this part if you don't want to listen to it. But I saw a tweet yesterday, and it was Joe, who was a character, was killing people, but could still reply to a message. And your ass couldn't reply while you're on TikTok.
You know what? That's a very fair point.
I'm not attacking you. I'm attacking that person from high school who just could not reply to a simple message, especially when it's like time sensitive. Like, hey, are you coming tonight? And then you reply.
If it's like time sensitive or like in the moment, I'll reply to it. If it's like, what are we doing for this? Like, it's like, oh, like a bigger picture thing. Like, oh.
What if it's a group project?
Okay, but I'm tedious on projects. Again, like, so I prioritize a lot of things of like getting stuff done and out of the way. So if it's school or like project, like Podcast with Strangers, I'll usually respond fairly quickly, unless I'm like, if I'm out with my friends and I'm like, okay, I need to like separate my life. You know what I mean? Like take it in strides. That's when I won't answer stuff like that.
Do you think you're addicted to your phone?
I think so. I think everyone in some ways is addicted to their phone.
I think we're in the middle of this and I'm checking my phone for messages.
Yeah, I hear a message
Horrible.
and I'm like, but I'm also,
It's
I'm
horrible.
like, is it my mom?
Yeah,
Because
I
if I don't
know.
answer my mom, I'm dead. So that's what I'm
know.
always worried
We gotta
about.
work on some goals for ourselves. It's just hard when it's your job. I'm a marketing director. How can I not be on my?
I have
fucking-
no excuse.
You kind of do. Who's gonna post for podcasts with strangers on TikTok? Actually, no. You know what? No excuses.
No, I don't have an excuse. I'll be honest. I think everyone has some kind of addiction to their phone.
I'm gonna set some
100%.
goals. What's some goals we can set? What's your screen time
I
right
told
now?
you, but my goal. Actually, I have a pretty good screen time.
Check. What is it right now?
I know someone like in the summer I was working with had a screen time of like 13 hours.
What's a good screen time to have?
I think mine's like 4 hours.
That's like 9.
Well, mine went up by 14% from last week.
How do you check from last week?
It just says it.
See all activity?
Mine's 5 hours. I feel like that's like not terrible.
Oh, shit.
5 hours of screen time?
Total.
Maybe that's really bad.
Total screen time over from Sunday till now, 32 hours and 29 minutes.
Okay, but if you break it down more. So my social today, I've used 1 hour and 44 minutes on social media, 15 minutes on
okay.
games because I
Let's check
recently
today.
downloaded Pokemon Go. And then
For Ethan.
travel 6 minutes. No, it's actually, I don't know, it's kind of fun.
I
Maybe that way.
12 hours on social media. Not
Wait,
today.
what's your average today?
Oh, today?
Yeah.
2 hours and 6 minutes.
Oh, okay.
But like if I were to do yesterday,
What's
it
your
was
daily average?
daily 8 hours.
Oh, mine's 5.
That's not good.
Mine?
Both of ours. 8 hours? That's literally a work day.
That's true.
Okay, let's set some goals. I want my daily.
I've already tried changing my goals. I told you what mine was. I'm trying to change my like good habits that I actually enjoy. Like if I bake cookies instead, or if I like read, or if I like work on a project instead of I think of like, oh, the 30 minutes it will take me I would have spent on social media between TikTok and Instagram. Like
Put a number to that.
put a number to what?
To that.
To what?
So that's your goal.
Yeah.
But the way we track it is through your screen time.
So like
So
what my ideal screen time is
What
going to
would
be?
you want your screen time to be daily? I want mine to stay at 3 hours max.
I was going to say 2 hours. But then, okay, I guess does screen time count when I'm on the phone with someone? No, right? No, because that's not a social. I mean, is that social?
Oh,
Because-
that's probably why it's so high.
Are we just making excuses? Let's check. Because for me,
I FaceTime my best friend literally.
I FaceTime a lot of people, and
Dude,
I do
I'll be
work.
taking a shower and I'll be FaceTiming someone.
That's a little strange.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Maybe
do
cut that out.
I
But,
go to
like-
bed with people on FaceTime.
I fall asleep sometimes on FaceTime too.
Yeah, but not like intentionally. Like, oh my god, we were talking and I fell
Oh,
asleep.
you can do app limits. Oh my
It doesn't work.
gosh.
It doesn't work. You can override it like easily.
Okay, but I feel like that might stop me more. I'm gonna put one on TikTok. That will, I
Yeah,
think,
I
help
gotta
me
get
a lot.
off my phone. Seriously. Like,
And Instagram.
I have a midterm due and I haven't even. It's due tomorrow night and I haven't even started it.
What should I make my time limit?
30
Wow.
minutes.
30 minutes?
Yeah, that's what I
I
tried.
shouldn't do less?
30 minutes is a lot.
Yeah,
No,
that's
30
what I'm
minutes is
saying.
good. That's a good amount.
I feel like 15 on TikTok. I feel like if I spend 30 minutes on TikTok, that's average.
Each minute is about 1 minute, let's say. Okay, 1 to 30 seconds each video, right? You're only going to be able to watch 30 videos. Are you happy with that?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Why are we making excuses up? Okay, you're right.
I said
We're
I
not-
would do
yeah,
15
we're
minutes
gonna bring
screen
it down a
time on
notch.
stuff.
We're going to bring it down a notch. Okay, anyways, that was our talk today. We kind of derailed to relationships for a second, which was good.
We did?
Yeah.
No, I talked about relationships and like the influence it has because of using social media, like texting and stuff.
True, so I guess it all circles back. I'm starting to yawn. That means it's time to go.
Can we get ice cream?
Yeah, we can go get ice cream. Guys,
Yay!
we're
Sorry.
on Main Street, Unionville right now. Actually, I don't want ice cream.
I want ice cream. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching this podcast episode. I hope it was entertaining in some way.
I hope you guys liked this.
I hope you got something out of it and some relatability.
We'll post a poll up to see if you guys liked this little conversation.
Wow, they're like, get
between-
Sheridan off the
Get
camera.
Sheridan off. Get Mathushin off. Get Sheridan on.
Sorry.
I think it's nice to kind of debrief our past weeks with just conversations between you and I. Maybe there'll be other people on. We're trying to get some special guests on that are in the works, because as much as you may think celebrities are or you know celebrities, they're still strangers to you. Just because you see something
Exactly.
on social media doesn't mean that's who they are.
Doesn't mean it's real. I guess that's our takeaway from today.
Yeah.
Just because you see something on social media. I mean, I think everyone knows that.
Not everything you see on social media is the truth.
Yeah.
You may see someone smiling on the outside of that picture, on just the surface.
Crying on the inside.
Crying on the inside.
Okay, friends. Well, thank you guys so much for listening and watching.
Thanks, guys.
We'll see you next week with a Real Strangers episode.
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry it
if
rained.
you guys were looking for strangers.
My
today.
camera just cut.
Sheridan's camera just
So
get
I'm
in
gonna
here.
come into yours.
Bye, guys. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, follow us on Spotify, Apple
Give us a review
Podcasts. Yes, give us a review on Apple. You can do that now.
on Apple Podcasts.
Yeah.
Right? I hear Emma Chamberlain say that a lot.
And it's also we're also on Spirit Live now. Our first episode is on spiritlive.ca.
Check out Spirit Live if you go to RISN/X University, or if you just want to check it out.
Yeah.
But I guess if you're already...
If you don't want to pay for Apple or Spotify and you have data, you can go on spiritlive.ca and listen to the podcast there. Also, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok.
YouTube. Subscribe.
Guys, I want to start making money off this.
Oh. We just talked about... Yeah. I'm just doing it because I love storytelling.
No, I want money.
Okay. Well, anyway. Have a great day, guys.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, guys. Bye.
Bye.